You may call it the grwm wine, but I call this the halal wine. When you can't drink, you just improvise. It looks like pee, but let's just pretend it's wine. Yeah. I've tried this chotobela and I hated it, and I still hate it. Let's just pretend that I have a party to attend, but we're in the middle of a pandemic, so if you're actually even going to a party. I'm going to a concert though, at-home concert. A few of my cousins and I are going to watch the year-end concert by Big Hit, so we'll be watching that till 9 p.m. and then we're gonna watch a movie. I'm just gonna fill in my brows real quick and then come back for the real drama. Just kidding. I'm done with the brows. I just feel like my skin is just going through the worst of times right now. I have a bunch of pimples. I don't know if you can see them. I have a bunch of pimples on my forehead. I mean, there's two, but it's still bothering me. And yeah. Where's my halal wine? I can't pretend that this tastes amazing, but it's just not for my taste buds. For the eye makeup, I want something that is sparkly, but not too sparkly. So let's just see what I can do with it. I'm gonna be using the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia because it has all the tones that I want to work with today. I'm gonna take the shade Tempera to highlight my brow bone and also set this area. I realized that the shade Tempera has this slight sheen to it, so when you move around you get that highlighted effect. Next, I will be going in with the Maybelline gel liner. This is in the color Blackest Black. And then I'm gonna make a line following my crease. Don't go too heavy-handed if you feel like you might make mistakes. Make small strokes. Once you have like a desired shape, you can go back in and build up the color, which is what I'm gonna do. Then I'm gonna make a wing on the lower lash line. I'm scared. Also, do not be really precise with this, and you can also skip this part and do the upper lid first and then come back to this. I feel like I made a bad decision by doing the eyeliner first, as in the one on the lash line, but I just wanted to save some time. I'm sorry. Then I'm going to be taking the shade Noah with the same pencil brush. Oh, I forgot to say the name of the pencil brush. It's not a pencil brush, it's a liner brush. Stupid. It's the Morphe M250-O or just 0. Yoongi has better skills in terms of a YouTuber than I do. This is from the James Charles collection, the brush. So yeah. I'm just gonna go over the black liner with the black shade. I suggest not breathing when you're doing this because otherwise you may F this up. Just kidding. I mean, breathe, but I'm not gonna. Then I'm gonna take the color Cypress Umber and this really random skinny brush. This was supposed to be a lip brush that I got ages ago, but this really doesn't do the work of a lip brush, so I'm just using this as a detailing brush. I'm gonna diffuse the black with the brown, that is the shade Cypress Umber. Just go very light-handed, very light-handed. The only suggestion that I have for this eye look is to be extremely patient, use skinnier brushes, and just go really light-handed. Yeah. Then I'm gonna be using the shade Sienna right here. I'm using the same brush, but I did take off the excess. I cleaned this brush, so make sure you're doing that as well. Next, the lightest shade is gonna be burnt orange. I'm still gonna be cleaning up the edges with some concealer. I'm just gonna go back with some Tarte Shape Tape, the one that we use as our primer, and a flat concealer brush, and just clean up the edges. I know that I don't like this, so I'm gonna clean this up. Then I'm gonna take the shade Tempera and this shade right here called Orange Soda. Yeah, Orange Soda. And I'm gonna set my lid, because why not? Next, I will be doing exactly what we did on our crease on my liner. I'm starting off with the shade Noir and applying this on top of the gel liner with an angled brush. This is just a brow brush, but you can use angled liner brushes. Does anyone here know where I can get matcha? In Bangladesh, of course. Do you even like matcha? I don't like matcha, but I feel like I'll hate matcha. You know, it's one of those things that you can tell that you're gonna hate even before trying. I feel like matcha is one of those things. And then the shade Sienna. I'm not taking the shade Sienna all the way in. I'm just stopping at the very middle. Then taking the shade Burnt Orange and applying this as the last transition shade. This color, I'm taking this all the way. Just going in with the colors that I feel like I've lost while blending. Then I'm just going to take a clean wet wipe and clean up the edges. So this is how it looks like. I know that I told you that this is going to be sparkly, and the sparkly element is just going to be the rhinestone that I'm going to put underneath my eyes. That's it. There's nothing else that's gonna be sparkly or shimmery. So I'm just gonna quickly move to my base because I do not have anything else to do on my eyes. Why am I such a freak? As usual, I'm gonna start off with some moisturizer. I'm gonna start off with my moisturizer because my skin is extremely dry. I'm just gonna use some Mario Badescu mist. Yeah, I don't think it's called a setting spray because it doesn't set your skin. It's just a mist. I am using the one that's with lavender and aloe and chamomile. I'm just gonna pretend that really hydrates my skin. It does, but it does not really hydrate as much as you want. You know, I want my face to be extremely hydrated, but it doesn't do that. It just adds a little bit of hydration. Just a little. Not enough for my dry skin. And when I'm saying this, I don't think there are people who have skin that is extremely dry as mine. My skin literally peels off. So I'm also gonna be using some primer. Even though I'm not going to be going out, partying and stuff, I really want my makeup to last because yeah, so I want my makeup to last until that time period. So that is why I'm applying some primer. This is the Blur and Defend. Even though it's the Blur and Defend primer, I feel like this adds an extra layer of moisture. That is why I love this primer. I do not even buy primers other than this and the Professional. I really don't need to use a Professional right now because I do not really have that much of a pore problem. Earlier, I used to have too much of a pore problem, but I do not have that anymore, so I don't use that anymore. See how my skin looks so much better than it was initially looking. It looks glowy and nice. And let's just ignore my forehead, which looks like a mess. I feel like this is growing on me. Almost everything that I say that I do not like ends up growing on me, which reminds me of this year. I hated this year. Initially, I didn't. I really did like the months January and February because I was having the time of my life, even though I got sick right during my birthday, but I still like those months. But then March had to happen, and then we all went into quarantine, and overall I just had the worst time during April and May. But as time passed by, I won't lie, I really did like this year. And I will tell my reasons. I will tell my reasons why I do not hate this year. I'm gonna color correct. I keep forgetting, but I'm gonna color correct today. I'm taking a little bit of the orange color corrector from LA Girl. If you are of my skin tone, get the peach color corrector because the orange one is just too dark and unnecessary. So I always mix the orange and the yellow and then use it on my skin. Just adding it a little bit of warmth. And that's it. A lot of us have hyperpigmentations around our mouth. In this area, over here. It's a strange area to have hyperpigmentation, but I have it. Adds a natural contour to my face. So I'm just gonna be applying that there. A little bit on my dark circles because they're just out there. Then I'm gonna blend the edges ever so slightly. I really love this foundation by LA Girl when it comes to longevity. So I'm going to be using this foundation, but I also want some glow and dewiness to my skin. So I'll be mixing the LA Girl Illuminating Foundation. Did I say illuming or did I say illuminating? Illuminating foundation. Oh, so as I was saying, I know that it might come as a shocker to a lot of people that I said that I like a year like 2020, but I did like it for my own reasons. I know that a lot of people didn't find it, I mean, and by a lot of people I think literally everyone on this planet right now. And the reason why I like this year is because during April I feel like I hit rock bottom or hit under rock bottom, if that explains it, you know, like the lowest of lows, even lower than rock bottom. That would be that. And there are things that I obviously cannot say on camera because they're too personal, but I just didn't have the will to do it anymore. So to get up from that state and continue with life takes a lot. And there are a few takeaways from this year. And that is, I really do not believe in a better year. You know how we say that I hope that the next year is going to be better than this and that, stuff like that. I really do not believe in it because I do not believe in the term that a year is going to be good. I feel like we are passing through a consistently bad phase or a good phase with some good times or some bad times. It really depends on how you want to say it. If you want to say that you are just going through a bad phase with just some good moments in your life, you can say it in that way. You can't ask me how I think it is. I really do not know yet which one I believe in. So instead of like looking forward to a better year, I would rather look forward to a better day, because I know that I won't have a good year. I know that I won't have a good year because there are gonna be plenty of bad days and there are gonna be plenty of good days. And I can't really section out like that because there are days where the badness, if that's a word, is just too overwhelming or too impactful than something that is good. And sometimes there are days which are longer, as in the bad days are longer than the good days. So yeah, I can't really sum up and just conclude that I hope to have a good year, because I feel like I know that that wouldn't be true. Like, I wouldn't necessarily have a good year. So yeah, I just hope everyone has better days every day rather than a good year in general. I don't know if I could explain. Yeah. I suck at explaining, I'm so sorry. For my concealer, I'm gonna use my Tarte Shape Tape. Also, one of the most common endingments during a year is that how they have lost someone, you know, either they just departed from the world or just from their life. And yes, we all keep on losing and gaining people in our life. This is a way of life. A lot of people, if not directly but indirectly, have lost a lot of people this year. And this year has been the year where almost everyone lost someone because of the virus. That being said, I feel like this year, the fact that we all had this fear of having to lose someone close to us, we all held on to our close one more tightly, more closely than we ever did. And I feel like the bond, regardless of how close or far that person might be to you, that bond just became more stronger. And I felt that in terms of friendship, in terms of my relationship with my parents, my family, or just even strangers. We all just felt deeply for people this year than I think we ever will. And I met some amazing human beings this year. Honorable mention goes out to Sadika and Faiza, without whom I honestly do not know what I would be doing especially back in April and May, because they happen to be closer to me than my closer people happened to be. I know there are times when you cannot reach out to people that are literally in front of you, and you just feel so lost and so alone because you can't really reach out to the ones that are literally in front of you. So you just struggle, like, where should you go? And I fortunately found shelter amongst these people whom I have never met, and I have no clue if I'm gonna meet them anytime soon. I just know them through this virtual world, and they just happen to be just so close that I wouldn't trade anything in this world to replace them, or to just you know what I mean. So mood kotha, I am grateful for this year because they brought me some amazing people. And I'm also very happy that a few of my friendships really blossomed this year. Like, friends I didn't think I would become that close to ended up becoming my everything. You know, almost family, almost someone I cannot live without at this point in life. Another reason why I absolutely love this year is because I found myself. I learned to respect myself. This might seem like a very easy deal to a few, but for someone who has always dealt with social anxiety, someone who has been really low on confidence, knows how big of a deal it is to finally be able to give yourself that respect that you deserve, that love that you deserve. I won't say that I was insecure about myself. I wasn't really ever insecure about myself, but I lacked confidence in myself, you know, in terms of the things that I did. And I would really call myself the most naive person that I know. Like, I won't call anyone naive because I know that the most naive person out there is probably me. And I hated that. I hated that because all my life I've seen people just use me for their benefit. And that, of course, bugged me a lot. That why cannot I stand up for myself when I need to? Why do I let people hurt me, use me, abuse me like that, when I literally can see through that situation. It's not like I do not see that situation, I do, but yet I let that happen to me. And this year has been that year where I stopped and I stood up for myself. And even though few of those decisions that I took really didn't help me in few other ways, this still made me happy. And you know, nothing else matters sometimes rather than the peace of your own mind, and rather than just being stuck in a non-toxic environment while suffocating is better than being in a toxic environment where at least you would be happy, you know, where you wouldn't feel that drained. And I didn't really feel that much drained later on this year. I feel like the middle months of this year were extremely horrible, but the later parts were amazing. I'm just using this, what is this thing called? This butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. I like this. Every time I take this out and use on my clients, I can see them, their lips carving out, their mouths carving up, because the scent just makes you happy. But if you're sensitive to scent, I wouldn't suggest you using this, but I won't really say that this has a bad scent to it. It has an amazing scent to it. Like, I don't think there's a person out there who would hate a scent like this. If you do, I mean, what's wrong with you? This year might not be good for everyone, but definitely everyone crosses through that point where they would be like, oh my god, this is the best period of my life. And I think this happens every goddamn year. So which was that point in your life? And do you really want to hold on to that, or the bad thing that happened in this year? Oh, also, and I realized no matter how saddening event might be, it just takes the slightest bit of happiness to break down that huge amount of sadness. Back in April, when my grandmother was ill and I just hated that point in life, I think it just took my cat to jump to a laser beam to make me smile. That one act of silliness or happiness takes away a sadness that you have been holding on to yourself for days, months, or even years. And I have experienced that a lot this year. There were a lot of times when I felt extremely low, and I realized how all of my sadness would just disappear due to just a slight show of happiness. Nothing big. You really don't need something that big of a magnitude in terms of happiness in order to take all of your sadnesses away. You just need that little ray of sunshine to make everything better. So to summarize, মাঝে মধ্যে অনেক কষ্টের মধ্যেই থাকতে পারি আমরা, it's very normal, but ছোট্ট থেকে ছোট্ট জিনিস can make you happy. So instead of finding those big events, those big glorious events, search for those little things that make you happy, because that little thing is gonna make you happy. That little thing is just gonna take away your sadness. That happened for me. Oh, also, I know that this might be gimmicky to a lot of people, but if there is anything other than my cat that made me happy this year, it was BTS. BTS, Sadika, Faiza, they all made me really happy. My friends, my family, they make me happy almost every year. But other than that, it was definitely Sadika, Faiza, and BTS. And you might think that why would a band make someone happy? Not just that. It was their songs, it was their behavior. And I have said this to everyone that's a BTS stan or someone who's close to me, who's willing to hear to me, listen. I just felt like I have this telepathic connection with the members. And sometimes when I would feel extremely down and in disdain, someone from the band would show up at Weavers and do something extremely funny and crazy, and that would make me happy. And earlier I did mention how Sadika and I became friends. We basically became friends through this text, and in that text there were a few lines from BTS's Spring Day, which has been my calming chant this entire year, and that is, the morning will come, no darkness, no season is eternal. And I just don't know, it just made me feel happy and sad and just so emotional every time I would listen to it. Even right now as I'm saying this, I got a little teary, but I won't cry and ruin this video. I feel like I'm making this video extremely long, so I'm just gonna shut up and finish my makeup and call this a year. Is that even funny? That's not even funny. So okay, so I want to add some glitter to my crease. So I'm using this Foculaire glitter liner in the shade Platinum. This is the number 1. If this doesn't work out, I'm gonna go in with my pot glitters. But I'm just applying this right underneath the black, or just against the black. Okay, so I did the glitter liner on both sides, but I can't really tell if I have glitter on my eyes unless I move my head around. So I'm gonna be using a pot glitter, and this glitter is called Golden Eye, and this is from Glitter My World. If you can't get your hands on this, you can just stick to the glitter liners, but since I have this, I'm gonna use this. And also for that, I'm gonna be using my NYX glitter glue and a eyeliner brush. And then stamp the glitter. Ooh, ki sundar. Oh, so the camera died. I forgot what I was talking about, but I think I was just doing my glitter liner. This looks far better, as in the pot glitter looks far better than the liquid liner. So I'm sticking to that, and then I'll be applying some mascara, some nude liner on my lower lash line, mascara and lipstick. I think that's literally it. Ow! Mona por se. I still have to do that thing, my lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with the shade Cypress Umber and stick it as close to the lash line as possible. Then I'm gonna take the color Sienna and blend that out. Then I'm gonna take the color Burnt Orange, which is the lightest transition shade, and blend everything on the lower lash line. Oh, next is mascara, and I'm using this Essence mascara. These are pretty bomb, like very good. Hi, so I'm back, and as you can see, I wore my lashes a little bit above my actual lash line, so that I have a more elongated effect rather than a rounded effect, because my eyes sort of droop down towards the end and I want them to be like, you get what I mean? So this is why I wore them a little higher. And now I have to put my rhinestones. I bought these, honestly, rhinestones bole, like it is like a fancy naam bolte se chota galate like puthi raktam. And remember how every time we would go to the sari stores, we would just collect those beads, those really colorful beads. That was my hobby. Oh my god, I can't believe all my life I have written other things as my hobby, when quite literally my hobby was to collect these beads in sari stores. You know how they would write that people like collecting stones or coins as their hobby? And I wrote that just so that people think of me as someone like them, or to just deem myself as acceptable. But I collected booties. Yeah, so I literally bought this from lace stores. People in Bangladesh obviously know what that is. You know how they sell lace জামার এডে যে লেস লাগাই আমরা ওই লেসের দোকানে গেলে বললেই হবে যে একটা পুঁথি দেন so I took these which are golden. I'm gonna put this glue right where I want my rhinestone aka puthi to be, and then I'm gonna apply my puthi. Put it upside down, and my lashes came in the way, and then just stick it to the lash glue. That's it. You see how you have a fancy teardrop? For my highlighter, I'll be using this Master Chrome highlighter in the shade Molten Gold. I've used this plenty of times, so you all must know what this is. I love this so much. I am done with everything other than my lipstick. For my lipstick, I will be using my Morphe liquid lipstick in the shade True Story. Once I start using one lipstick, I cannot get the hang of it. I mean, ektai lagaite thakbo till I hate it, or till I run out of it, which is most likely the case. I'm going to be applying a little bit of Heathers by ABH on the center because I like that bloated effect. অনেক অল্প দিছি কিন্তু অল্প. This was the setting spray. I used the Milani Make It Last. I'm just gonna go and wear my hijab properly and come back. So for my hijab, I absolutely did nothing. I'm just mathay kapurta nisi, and 1, 2. That's it. Like I said, I hope you have better days ahead, and I can't assure if you are going to have a better year or even a better day tomorrow, but I can hope that you do. And I just hope and pray that every one of us have better days than yesterday, but a little less than tomorrow. Something that Kim Tae-kyung said, but he used that in terms of love, but I'm using that in terms of better days. So what am I doing? Honestly don't know how to end a video. I'm just gonna pretend that it's nearly 12 a.m. but it's still 6 something. I'm kidding, it's probably 7 almost. Yeah, it's nearly 7, but I'm still gonna wish you guys an advance Happy New Year, even though by the time I upload it's probably 2021. Here's a toast to all the good days that we had this year, and inshallah to the good days that we are gonna have, but we won't be able to experience the good days if we do not have bad days. So I hope none of us have overwhelmingly bad days, and we can feel whatever that we want to feel. I'm talking a lot as usual, so Happy New Year. Yeah, pointless pura video te ami bolchi that I do not believe in a new year, Happy New Year, but here's me wishing a Happy New Year to everyone. Bye.